And we're live. It's going to probably start playing back. Because see how it doesn't give me like the actual audio control? Okay, so we are live. It's going to catch up here. We've got a few people in here. This is weird. So Jerry wanted me to say sorry. He completely jerried the situation.
Totally.
Where he forgot he had a place to be tonight. Apparently he's going to like some early premiere for Star Wars. Like he knows anything about Star Wars.
Yeah, the Enterprise and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Captain Kirk definitely blew up the Death Star.
Yep, totally.
So anyway, I'm going to make sure once this starts here that the audio is down. Actually, I want to listen to it for a second.
Robert knows about this.
Oh god, an ad. Sorry guys. Apparently we're learning about the new Dollar Shave Club or some shit.
There's YouTube Red. I'm just saying.
YouTube Red. Okay, guys, just like every single week, if you donate, it's a good chance to get your comment read. We'll do the best we can to keep up with it. But of course, it's not necessary. Weird. So Jerry wanted me to say sorry. Okay, so the mic's going to sound a little echoey because it's kind of far away to get all of us here. I'm pretty sure I've got the right mic selected here. Yes, I do. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and roll that intro real quick. This is very off the cuff, and that's how we do it around here. Nick, you get to sing the song.
Oh.
You ready?
No.
Sing a song about like initial D. And go. What the hell is
Going to the corner.
Isn't that how they do it? Like,
Hey, look at this news drop.
right? We got like no one here.
Not that you guys care anyways. Gosh.
Okay.
Nobody,
So we've got Josh from Fractal Design here. We were working on a video today, and then you guys have always asked to get Coconut Monkey on the live stream.
I'm finally on one.
He sounds so thrilled. I'm
Well,
finally here.
You're kind of near us. Like it looks like you would fit in between us, but you really can't.
Yeah, exactly. No.
There's way too much like P9 content right here to fit in between us. Nor would you really want to get that close to us.
For many, many reasons.
All right.
Not on camera.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tweet this out that we are live. Oops, I really fucked up.
You just like mastered the internet, Jay.
All right.
No, clear browser history. Clear browser history.
Oh, I don't care if you guys get to see.
Dollar Shave.
That's not Dollar Shave. That's like Gillette going after Dollar Shave.
That guy needs to start working on his chest.
I know, right?
Ugh.
Holy heck! It goes over to his shoulder.
It's like a sweater.
All right, guys. I'm just tweeting out here that we're live. If you guys feel like doing the same, we don't have a whole lot of the way of topics tonight because we spent all day working on Node 202 build, and that thing's a piece of shit, man. What the hell?
I know. I made it in your image. That's why.
You guys had me in mind when you made it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Fractal Josh, right? Should I even bother getting you in there? What the hell?
You don't have to.
Whatever.
Wait,
Where's
where
our?
am I?
You got Nick in there? Okay.
Look how red my eyes are. See what your computer case has done to
There's
me?
that freaking ganja.
It's gonna be like Jay's 420. It's gonna be like everyone's stack. So anyway, if you guys want to tweet at us,
Hey, Jay tweeted to me.
if you guys want to get your stuff responded to, there is hashtag hashtag right? Ask Tech Talk, not Tech Talk or hashtag Ask Jay, which people have done. That's something else entirely.
Yeah, we're literally just searching for Ask Tech Talk.
Coconut Monkey is also back there on the Twitter, and he will kind of give us some of the questions as they come in. But anyway, today we're
Mission
just gonna
control.
kind of hang out and talk with you guys and see what's going on in the world. So we just went and picked up the 370Z.
Mm-hmm.
You got to hear it from. Could you hear the car from your Porsche?
Yeah, I could.
You could. You're like, damn, thing sounds like shit.
It looks like shit.
It's
It
terrible.
smells like shit. Yeah.
Well, it's my car, so it's right on.
Exactly. Again, building your image.
You know, if only I could rent these amazing cars and borrow them and not
Yeah.
have to worry about oil changes and stuff.
Uh,
My God.
It's a rough life.
George
I'll tell you.
George says 202. Hey, they mean 212, right? No, it's the Node 202.
Yes, exactly.
If you had called it Node 212, you know Cooler Master would have come after you.
Rajiv.
Not anymore.
I know.
Rajiv has moved on to bigger and better things, interestingly enough.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for anything to come in on the Twitters, the mentions and stuff. Yeah, so how long are you in town for? And what else is on your agenda?
Okay.
You were on Awesome Hardware last night, right? Or not?
Yeah, I was on Awesome Hardware on Tuesday night, and then yesterday I had to meet with Steve from Monoprice, and then hung out.
that guy.
I know. I got a motorcycle. Yeah, whatever. Steve, shut up. And then I then hung out with Austin Evans for a while after that. Had lunch with him, and then I had a conference call at 5 p.m. because I had to talk to Taipei, so that took 2 hours. And then this morning I had an industry meeting, and then I was out here.
I like how you're like, yeah, I'm free all day Thursday, and you're like, no, I got a meeting to go to.
Well, I got pushed back. And then the best thing was the meeting got pushed back to like 10:30 this morning. Then they messaged me to move it up to 10 o'clock. So I get there at 10 o'clock, and then they're 15 minutes late for the movie, or for the meeting. I'm like, that's handy. Thank you.
Nice.
We just want to make sure you're waiting, is what we're looking at.
Nice. So if you guys haven't been following on Instagram, I know you guys have been asking me where the hell the Skunkworks updates are. I'm still not past this point right here. I don't have the OBS up. I'm still not past this point right here because I had other things to do, like build a computer for this guy.
You got to make you work somehow.
I know, right? I gotta earn the monies. I'm probably gonna start the official, like, full-on build maybe in like first week of January. I'm trying to see where that box of the cables went. Did you happen to see where I put it? I want to show the cables. The cables came in for that, so that's really
But
cool.
Jay, won't you be at CES?
No, I won't be at CES. Actually, it's in the closet right on the top if you want to grab them. It's the priority box. There's super secret stuff in the closet, so no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I decided I'm not going to CES this year.
Mm-hmm.
So normally this time of year, things are actually slow on the review front because most companies are selling their inventory rather than
And they're
sending
holding
it out.
for like the CES
Right.
launches, yeah.
But at the same time, too, January then can get really busy a few weeks after CES to a month or two after. I don't want to put myself through that grind. You get the con crud. Everyone gets sick. Everyone loses their voice. You get no sleep. You come home what's supposed to be like kind of away and being out and about. You're more tired than when you left, and you never catch up. So this year I decided I am not going to do that.
Well, and I'll tell you, obviously I have to attend it as well, and more from like the vendor side. And on average, I'll average 9 hours of sleep for the entire week combined. And you come back just so wiped, and then there's all the follow-up from going to the show.
Yeah.
It's just, I can tell you, a lot of people think it's cool to go to CES. Most people in the industry, you almost despise it. You're just like, oh, I'm just going to get so wrecked this whole week. But
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird to me, though, because it's not like CES is an opportunity for all of us to talk about product and stuff. We do it all year long.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the only reason PC is even present at CES is so that it can kind of be represented in the tech world, because CES has never been about PC.
Yeah,
It's always been like TV.
Well, it's a
conference.
consumer electronics show, and now it's moved more towards TVs, mobile
Drones.
stuff like that. Yeah, drones.
Like 2015, this past January, I swear, was just all drone.
Yeah, because that was a hot button thing, right? Everybody wanted to have a drone, but
I guess, yeah.
yeah. So for us, Fractals as being like a case and component manufacturer. Personally, I'm moving more towards I'd like to release stuff not at CES, just because there's so much hype around it. Trying to get any visibility for what you're doing is really difficult.
It's kind of funny though. You hear every January, you hear both companies and reviewers say, "Oh, I'm not going to go next year. I don't want to go." And at the end of the year, they're like, "Ah, fuck it, I'll go."
The one upside is if you're looking to meet with people face to face, it's 80 of the people you're going to meet with are going to be in one area for a week, but then you still have the hell of trying to schedule all of that.
I've debated driving down for a day.
Yeah.
And then maybe coming back the next morning just so I can hang out with, because the only thing I look forward to at CES is hanging out with other YouTubers that I don't really get to see in person, but maybe once or twice a year. But even the problem with that is the only time you get to hang out with them is late at night. You have the stupid parties, and then everyone will go back to someone's hotel room and hang out. It's 3 or 4 in the morning, and
chill.
it's just exactly.
Well, and by then it's you're in zombie mode. And you're
Surprise
like,
butt sex. I hate that.
Sometimes it's a surprise.
Hello. All right, so the cables are done, guys. These were done by Sanctum Sleeving, and here is the theme. You guys know that custom cables are a part of Skunkworks, and so we did a. It's not even black. It's a really dark gray, or actually, I guess it's all 4 colors. It's a dark gray, a light gray, a black, and an orange. But that's what they look like. It's kind of hard to tell.
It's almost like a monochrome rainbow.
See, these are all the graphics card ones. Yeah, but I think it
looks nice.
It's gonna match really nicely. These are the graphics card ones, so he sleeved them together with the combs. That way
Gotcha.
they stay nice and neat. But yeah, that's what they look like there. It's kind of hard to tell in the camera. It's very oversaturated a little bit, or kind of over bright.
It's
Yeah, these
more
are done.
vibrant orange in person.
This is ultimately what I was waiting for to start the build. Skunkworks doesn't need a lot of work. It just needs to be drained, and then the new blocks put on the graphics cards, clean the radiators, and the new fluids and the new fittings.
But other than
That
that,
translates to a lot of weird.
That's not a lot of work, though. I mean, I don't have to do much in the way of bends.
yeah,
There's a couple of bends I'll have to redo.
a few deep knee bends.
Okay, fine. It's a lot of work. Whatever. But yeah. So, okay, I'm going to read through some of the donation comments here. Hopefully I haven't missed all of them. Let's see. Okay, so Sam Thrave says, get Miss JayzTwoCents to say hi. Who is the guy at the back? That's Coconut Monkey. He's been on a few videos of mine, and that's not a racist term. He came up with it himself. Miss JayzTwoCents is baking cookies right now.
I helped with those too.
Sweet.
He
You did?
He
I
did.
did.
Oh, you're so domestic.
Dee Wright says, "You and Jerry planning on a Christmas Eve Tech Talk?" No, sir. I'm actually going to be with the family at Disney's Frozen on Ice. We got those like a year ago. Like when Frozen still, everyone was like, "Ooh, Frozen." Now everyone's like, whatever. Let's see.
Let it go.
Quinn Dickinson. That's an amazing name. I want a last name of Dickinson. And I want my first name to be Richard Dickinson.
Dick Dickinson. They call me Double Dick.
What's the best graphics card you can fit in a standard 3-year-old laptop? My friend has a laptop that fried. You can't really change a graphics card in a laptop.
That's kind of the thing. Like they've had socketed graphics for a while.
Alienware did it.
Like MXM and stuff. But the problem was, like, you know, back in the day when I used to be a system integrator, was they would socket it. So yeah, you could remove it or replace a defective one. But then the next, you know, mobile GPU would come out and it wouldn't be the same form factor.
Right.
And there's no place you could ever go buy just a discrete mobile GPU. So it's kind of a misnomer.
Yeah, they've tried to make graphics cards that could use the old PCMCIA.
Yeah.
There were some people tried to use the mini PCIe, like, you know, they use the now for like wireless cards and stuff. I've seen Alienware back when I had one of their old Aurora laptops, had a socketed interchangeable graphics unit, but like you said, one generation later it was useless.
Yeah, and they tried a while back to standardize laptops to a certain degree. It was called CBV, like I can't remember. It wasn't custom building block, but something like Intel's really trying to push it, whereas somewhat of a modular format where they had to conform to these norms.
Right.
But that never stuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you've got so many different configurations. Like you were talking about this laptop, technically like what, 17 3/4 inch, but then it's got the overhang on the back, so it's not the same as another 17. What are you laughing at?
Henry Russell posted, Jay, how's it feel to be the third coolest person in the room?
Hey, it's a load off my back. You guys have the stress of making the show worth watching
I'm
tonight.
totally not going to put a load on your back.
You already did, just being here?
Yep. Job's done.
Let's see, what was that company though that's making these cubic modular PCs that everyone thought was going to be the Steambox? It wasn't. Was it like i3i something?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't remember.
The concept with that was everything was modular, so you could have the super small form factor that was no bigger than, say, like this box right here. This EK box was the size of the whole PC, and it just literally fit together in like 4 or 5 pieces, and you could change. I had like an M.2. Actually, I don't think it was M.2. It was whatever. What was before M.2? The other small.
NVMe?
No. Before M.2.
MSATA. Yeah, that's it.
It was MSATA, and then the graphics card was its own unit, and it kind of went together, and then you could just change a part of it, but it didn't really take off. I don't know how many people were looking for a small form factor modular PC.
Well, and the other thing is, like, how long have they been talking about external discrete graphics on laptops?
And we're just now starting to see those.
Yeah, I mean, that's been
docking
around,
stations.
like, getting floated around forever, where it's like you can basically just have an external box, you know, kind of like an external hard drive, but for like a desktop level graphics card, and it's like, but again, that's like, okay, when I'm at home and I want a game, but then if I'm on the road and I don't need the gaming power, it's like, oh, that's when I want the gaming power.
Well, it's kind of like Asus and their water-cooled laptop thing, right? It docks into a water cooling loop that when it's docked, it makes a seal with like quick disconnects and then turns into a water-cooled laptop, and then off you go when when it's not docked, it's a standard fan and heatsink. I don't understand like how many people they thought were looking for water-cooled laptops like that.
Well, and who knows? Maybe part of it's like proof of concept. Like, look, we did it.
Yeah.
You know, look, a cool laptop.
And they try to make a cell phone like that too. We could just plug in different cameras or extra batteries.
Yeah, there's that.
JK Software says it's like Derp Squad invades Jay.
I really don't want to see that.
Whoa, that's a whole different channel.
It's
guys.
okay, Jay. It's not cancer. I can tell you.
You just inspected it. Okay. Colonoscopy by Josh.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't taste like cancer.
That got awkward. Isaac Desprez, I'm sure that's Spanish or something I'm messing up. He says, keep up the great content, Jay. Well, I will keep up the content, but I can't say it's great.
Yeah, let's set that bar low, so low we trip over it. That's what I would say. And then
if you achieve something, you feel great about it too.
Yeah, I did a thing.
Cole McKenzie says, Jay Supercharger Fund, have you played any Rainbow Six Siege? I have not played Rainbow Six yet, but just hearing you guys talk about it earlier sounded like fun. Like it's kind of like Insurgency. You have to be methodical about how you go about the objective.
Yeah, you don't want to go Leroy Jenkins. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna clear the room. Okay, I'm dead.
You probably do it on easy or normal if you know what you're doing. But
normal is hard in that game?
It can be.
He also asked about Supercharger Fund. You know, the car as it sits right now is just under 400 horsepower. I don't know if I want to supercharge it. honestly. You saw earlier. You saw when I got on the on ramp. Like traction doesn't exist on that car if I turn off traction control, and then if I turn on traction control, why supercharge it? So I don't know.
Very true.
I feel like I would open up a can of whole new reliability worms if I do that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, my computer's unstable, but let me try and overclock it anyway.
Yeah, look how fast the benchmark went. Oh my god, it completed the benchmark! Yay! You know, it's like if you complete the benchmark and you're excited about that, there's a problem.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Coconut Monkey, he'll send me like random shots, like once in a blue moon, but like, look, I benchmarked, and he'll show me this number, and I'm like, oh, that's cute.
I got one question. Why does Josh sound so high? I have a cold. That's why I sound so high.
But why do you sound
Right. He just came from.
I had some of those cookies you made. You son of a bitch.
They were brownies.
Yeah.
And he just came from Seattle.
Yeah.
Techno Geek says, "Hey Jay, I love the channel. Thanks for your hard work and honesty. Will you give your recommendation for a non-reference air-cooled 980 Ti? Thanks." Well, he didn't really give me a cash limit, so Kingpin.
Done.
You know, $1,200 if you can swing it.
I'll tell you.
For the high ASIC quality, which makes no difference, by the way.
Well, and I was gonna say, like, I'll get questions like, "Hey, what fractal case should I get?" I'm like, "What do you want to do?" There's like the Find XL, and there's the Node 202, and the Core 5. You know, very different applications.
Someone says 1994 C4 Vet. First of all, that's the name. Says supercharge it because why the hell not?
Yeah.
How can you argue with that logic, though? Right? Are there any Ask TechTalk hashtags? Do you know how to check hashtags?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know you're kind of new at Twitter, so.
I don't know how to work the Twitters.
The Twitters are hard.
In your guys' opinion, what PC case would you recommend? But for what? Is this Ask
Well, I'm kind of partial to the Case Labs SMA8 with a 560 rad support, a 280 rad support on the back, and a 480 rad support on the top.
And I'm somewhat partial to just any fractal design case, I would say. You know, honestly though, I mean, it really depends on application. I was saying this on Awesome Hardware the other night. Like, a lot of times I'll get people like trying to troll me, like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a Corsair case. What do you think?" It's like, if that's what works for you, good, go for it. I mean, you know, there's not one case that's perfect for every single application.
So what does Josh do at Fractal? Well, he's the company jester.
Yes, I'm the vice president of marketing for Fractal Design for North America.
He's cool people.
Yes, exactly.
So why have we never heard from the president of marketing at Fractal North America?
I'm unable to discuss things that may or may not
because he's
be
not in North
progress.
America.
Yes, exactly.
Let's see here. Andre de Groot. That's an amazing name, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Josh, busy week. First at Paul's Hardware, now here." Josh, when he's in town, always makes the YouTube celebrity tour. Because there's a lot of us out here. Like Paul's Hardware.
I am the YouTube celebrity.
That's right. We're all visiting
That's
Josh.
my tour. Exactly.
Remember, we're all visiting Josh.
Yes, yes.
No, I think it's funny. I was like, "Yeah, come into town. You could be on TechTalk." Next thing I know, we were on Awesome Hardware. I was like, "You cheating son of a bitch!"
Yeah, dig it.
Oh man, wasn't it on this week's show? Because I started getting bombed on Twitter. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, the comment they made about Skunkworks." Someone said something changed color faster than my reservoir.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It was apparently they said it was on Awesome Sauce. Someone was like, "That shit changed color faster than Jay's reservoir."
It's like, what?
Oh man, like I'm gonna get mad about that. Right?
Sure.
It's clearly. What color would you call
It's
that?
clearly not clear. It almost looks like a sweet tea with like orange juice in it.
It kind of looks like the color of Hefeweizen.
Like a mess.
Yeah.
Maybe a little darker though. Like
Yeah,
like
probably not
Hefeweizen
as
with a
good.
splash of Guinness.
Yeah. Or infection, either way.
It's fermented Hefeweizen. If you guys want to see what we're talking about here, that's the color my loop is turning on the right. It just keeps turning.
It's beer loops.
Yeah, Linus says just keep digging. That just keeps turning.
It's a microbrew. Jay's got a microbrew setup
It's a
going on.
microbrewery in my.
It's
in my
fermenting
office.
right now.
Well, that's how I like it, extra potent.
Mm-hmm.
Josh's voice melts me, says Piefoot.
Piefoot, please be a woman.
You should hear him after. I know, right? You should hear him after CES.
Yeah, it gets bad. Like especially, so the problem with CES is obviously you're talking all the time, and then you go out to the parties, and then hey, let's have a party where everybody's supposed to network, and then Jay, I said you're like yelling the whole night.
You know what pisses me off about those parties and the DJs? Okay, so they're used to it being the Vegas party crowd. That's what they do, right? They work those clubs. So you're one of the first arrivers, and it's not that loud.
Yeah.
The more that people come, they start cranking the volume up, and then next thing you know, you're screaming to talk to someone 2 feet away.
And then you feel like an old man. Why is it so loud in here? These chairs aren't comfortable. I want to go back to my room and soak my feet. You know, it's. I don't. And
How is Linus doing, by the way? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, guys.
The aspect of it is like, it sounds like a lot of first world problems, but
Yeah.
there's a certain expectation that you go to these parties.
Look, we make our money with these voices, and we can't be losing them at the club. Okay.
and because I have a 1-900
Drinking hot
number.
tea with honey.
Yeah, pinky up. And the problem is, it's like after like the 4th night in a row of all day work, either meetings or whatever, and then usually when you go out to eat, that's another business meeting
Yeah.
with somebody, and
Yeah.
then you never eat as much at a business dinner as you would a normal one, so you're hungry like an hour
Yeah.
later.
Well, because you
Then
want to be
go
that guy that's like,
Let's go to
what?
the buffet.
Food's all like running down your face.
And then you end up going to a party until like midnight, 1 o'clock,
Starving.
and then you end up hanging out with other people because you want to get something to eat afterwards.
Yeah. Because what happens? Like the party's ending, right? And it's like, what do you want to do? I don't know. We something to eat.
Yeah.
Because Vegas, like the restaurants are open all night.
Yeah, most of them were open
Especially on the
24
weekend.
hours. And then you roll into bed at like 3, 4 in the morning. It's like, oh crap, my
3
first
hours
meeting's
later.
at 8 o'clock. I don't
3
wanna
hours
get
later,
up.
you're getting up. Or like, at least you're lucky where you just have to do meetings. Like for the reviewers, it's like get the camera ready, make sure the batteries are charged, get everything offloaded, get your bag set or whatever.
You say that's lucky, but my meetings are usually like have a YouTuber come in, bitch about getting the camera ready, the battery settings, blah, blah, blah.
I know, right? It's such a hard life.
Lighting.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
us having to complain about it, you having to listen to it.
Yeah, freaking Jay walks in, my back needs massaging. Okay.
Hey, I'm the only one in my crew that didn't get a massage. Don't you remember?
Yeah, you got one. But it
Compromises
wasn't.
were made.
I was like, I'm not gonna fit in that thing.
I'm not even going to try.
That was Big J.
I don't want to see Little Jay. I really don't want to see Little Jay.
Little J's in the other room. She's very cute. Little 6-year-old girl. What the hell? What's
I
wrong
taught
with
her
her?
how to full paper
What's wrong with
airplanes.
There we go. We'll leave
You
it
taught
at
her
that.
how to full paper airplanes?
Yeah.
They're all.
No, her flies further than mine.
You can't make jokes about planes exploding, Jay.
That's right. My bad. NSA is now like totally tapping this.
Flagged.
Welcome to the list. Welcome to the watch list.
Jerry is on a Star Wars thing.
Doing a marathon.
John Deere. Wow, John Deere's in here. I live in Vegas. Good for you. Let's see. Are there any more comments I missed to the donating thingies? All right. No, I already answered that. Right?
I think so.
Yeah. Recommendation. Okay. I kind of like these streams though, where we have nothing to talk about.
You know what we could talk about? Tech.
Fractal Node 202.
Oh, hey, yeah, we could do that. I was just going to say tech. So, I'll address this really quick. Node 202 is out. It's available. Obviously, I've caught a lot of flack for how long it's taken to get to the market.
But for good reasons though.
Yeah. All the reasons are not
There were some
public, but-
perfection tweakings that needed to be done for it to be
Yep.
exactly the standard you guys wanted. And I applaud a company, whether it be software or hardware, that's willing to hold off on a release date
Mm-hmm.
and take the flack for it not being perfect for the sake of making it right. Companies like EA that will push something out so that they don't miss a deadline and then just would rather deal with the fallout, to me, loses all respect.
Well, and I appreciate that. Like with what we were doing, the way that the production process usually works for a system is, you design it, and then you get your prototype samples in, and that's where you check your fit, your finish, all that sort of stuff, make sure everything lines up the way it's supposed to. Then generally there'll be like a set of kind of like they call them like golden samples. It's like the first very, very mini production run, like maybe like 10 or 20 or something like that.
Because you want to kind of get them in the reviewer's hands prior to launch, so that at least, not necessarily on launch day, but sometime relevant within that time frame, there's reviews for people to go and look at.
And the way that it works is generally that mini production run, like I said, sometimes 20 cases, 50 cases, whatever, is designed to mimic what the full production one would be as far as quality goes. So then you get those out, and then then you go to your full production run, assuming everything with the mini production run goes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you catch things. Sometimes things are changed inadvertently by the factory, or sometimes.
Which is why almost everything in the PC world has a revision number on it.
Yeah. So we were looking at it, and there's some things on there that we thought we could improve upon. That there were some discrepancies, so we decided to hold it and make it right before we launched it. But in addition to that, logistics is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
It's like, so when we make it, it still has to get out of customs in the country it's in, goes on a boat, has to travel to multiple different locations around the world. Not the same boat, obviously.
Yeah.
Because that would take
That
forever.
boat's got to we got to go to America, then we got to go over to Sweden.
We put it on an Uber. Uber's got boats now, but it's like group Uber. But then like even if it gets into say like the port of Los Angeles, like on the 1st of the month, if everything goes according to plan, it could be out of there in a week.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sometimes the boat can sit in the harbor for 2 weeks just waiting to get into the port.
Yeah.
Then if you get randomly flagged for, hey, you're getting customs inspection, then it goes to another holding area,
Right.
and then that can take. You're basically waiting for the process. That could take another 2 to 3 weeks, and then the actual process of scanning a container doesn't take that long. But it's all this waiting and waiting. Then it gets trucked to your sales partner. They have to bring it into inventory. Blah blah blah. So the Node 202 is available. Is what I'm saying. Newegg has it, NCX has it, North America.
Wasn't it September when we did our commercial?
I think so, yeah.
Because we took Coconut Monkey. You guys might recognize him from the couple of Fractal commercials he's done with me.
All of them.
Everyone loved the No 202 commercial, but then
Yeah.
they were mad. They're like, "We can't buy the damn thing."
I mean, I've been getting hate. I've seen it progress from, man, I really want that. Too bad it's not out yet, to like, you lying son of a bitch. I'm like, and the one thing I was trying to explain is like, please understand, we want to sell this. Because if we don't sell this, we don't make money. We don't make other cases.
That kind of brings me to the next point, though, which I've said before, is people are fucking fickle, where we want it perfect and we want it now, and if it's not, they're like, oh, you should have waited. Then you wait, and they're like, no, you shouldn't have even teased it. If it like, it's not like you guys intentionally teased it and then it didn't come about. It's people, no matter what you do, you're wrong. Like with software, hardware.
And I understand with this, they had a longer lead time. And I can understand people getting ear takes. Like, for example, like when I was looking at my monitors for my system, I really wanted like an LG UM34, like the curved 21x9. And they kept delaying it, and then finally ended up going 4K because I just couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of tweets from people that are basically saying like, Josh, bring this case in, otherwise I'm going to have to go with something else. And it's like, believe me, I want to, but if you need to go with somewhere else, I totally understand. It's just, obviously it was not intentional on that end. We want to get stuff out as quickly as possible.
Well, it's kind of like where I'm at with the Predator X34. I mean, this came from NVIDIA, not from Acer. And so it's one of those things where NVIDIA sent it to me to try it out with my setup in the G-Sync and see how I thought about it. They didn't even ask me to do a review. It's just like, hey, check it out. So I did the review, and then I didn't do my research to see if it was even available. And of course, it was like no stock anywhere in the country.
Well, I saw the LG monitor I wanted, like when Lions did a review of it. I'm like, yeah, that looks kind of cool.
We first saw those at CES in January.
Yeah, and then
we never heard from anything. And then LG in June is like, hey, you want to check this out? So didn't we see this 6 months ago? But that's part of the problem with CES that annoys me too. Is if you go on the showroom floor, expect anything you're looking at to just be like what might be coming out. Not even will come out, might come out.
And I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm looking at to see if there's questions. One is like, what is a good CPU cooler that fits in the Note 202? I don't have the full list next to me. Obviously, it is low profile.
56 millimeter.
Yeah, Noctua has like their NHL 9i. I think I can't remember what it is. It's like the low profile.
Their numbering is always so weird.
Yeah, so that one fits really well. And basically, you can message our tech support department. And they have like a list, like a compatibility list that they can share with you. Also, let's see here. Travis Chapman asks, how long does the process usually take for a case to go from concept to manufacturing? Kind of a wide thing, right? It's like, how long does the concept side of it take?
It's going to depend on the intricacy of the case,
Yeah, and it depends on how long it takes to get fully designed. But
I would think a small form factor like that would take longer than a full size.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, oh, it's smaller, it's quicker to build. It's like, but there's a lot more space utilization that you have to kind of
millimeters matter in that case.
Yeah, whereas like you get something like it's a huge full tower where you could you can install your graphics card from across the room by throwing it at it like a throwing star.
Kind of like Skunkworks here.
Yeah, exactly. And so it all depends. Like the complexity of the case has a large amount to do with it. Going through production and like I get questions a lot like, oh, how come you didn't add this or this wouldn't cost anything extra on the case? It's just another bend in the metal. It's like actually that does cost because when you're looking at a production process. And believe me, I don't handle our production facilities. Anything that adds a step in the production line adds cost. So even if there's no material increase, the fact that this now either has to move to a different part of the production line or there's another stop in the production line where a new robot or person or die or whatever comes out and bends and tweaks, all that stuff adds cost. So there's always that balance ratio because generally when you're making something new, there's the market research. Like, is this something that people want? Is this something that we're improving on something that doesn't exist? And then there's the kind of fleshing it out. Then there's market research like, okay, price. What price segment do we want to hit with what feature set? Blah, blah, blah. But I mean, some things can take like 2 years. There's some that can take 6 months. There's ones like the Note 202 where maybe like the concept and design phase could take, say, 6 months to a year. And then there might be a production hiccup where then it takes like another 6 months to get it to market. So there's not like a really clear answer like it takes this amount of time.
Or there could be something that doesn't pass quality control and then it gets delayed 4 months.
Yeah. And like for example, like with cars and stuff, right? Like they always come out like half a model year ahead.
Right.
And you see like the little mini refreshes from year to year. But then
Nissan's notorious for that.
And but then when they do large
Nissan for all of you English folk.
Like when they do like a large platform change, like then maybe say they go from the 350 to the 370.
Yeah.
Like that 370 is probably in development while the last 2 model years of the 350 are being produced.
Yeah, it's like, okay, the 350's done, and now we're starting on
Boom.
the new car.
Yeah, it's like the lag would never catch up.
Yeah.
You know, you got like small updates versus large, product
Nissan,
altering updates.
it's kind of funny though that like Nissan is known to run their model years. Typically, 5 years is a model year for a car.
Like a generation
Like
for
a
a car,
generation, yeah. Nissan that does 7 and 8. Like the 370s is about to. It's debuted in 2009. We're about to hit 2016. That's 7 years on a single design overall.
Well, and I can see that too if you look at it from their standpoint. It's like
it sells.
if it sells, designing a new product costs a lot of money. Because what happens is like especially when you release a product that end of life's the previous product. For example, the 370 end of life's the 350.
Right.
It's like you've got that trade off of, okay, we have to kind of make this break where we stop pushing the 350,
Right.
we push the 370.
No more
if the
trucks.
350 is selling up
coming in.
here, and you think the 370 is going to be better, and then it comes out and oh my God, it's not
Yeah.
selling as well. We screwed something up. All that stuff costs money because if you start changing tooling, you really have to fully commit to that.
Right.
So,
Let's see. Sam Thrave says, "Is Coconut Monkey a YouTuber? If so, link that in the description." And Fractal Josh and JayzTwoCents, get Coco more involved. Well, you understand, Coconut Monkey knows what he knows about computers and techs that he's learned from me kind of watching. If you start talking about more about cars and things like that, then he'll be a little bit more involved. Other than that, he's kind of here as an awkward fixture of the stream right now. But no, he doesn't have his own channel. I still think he should, but he doesn't.
We'll just vlog it.
Whatever. You understand? You may not think you're interesting, but you are kind of interesting, and you do funny things from time to time. Usually they're unintentional. But let's see. Get him more involved. I don't know. Nick, get involved. Start stepping in. Okay, hold on. John, no,
shut up.
You could talk about this douche FBI arrest, the pharma CEO, Martin. What were we just talking about?
Yeah, I was talking about
What does that have to do with
Skrelling or
TechTalk?
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacking the price up of AIDS meds, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
Say words. Say words.
He's a dick, but
His name's Richard.
is it?
No, I'm
Is
just.
it- It wasn't. No, but
Is that double dick we're talking about?
Whoa.
he just made his way in the news slowly because
Yeah.
of that medicine, and
Yeah.
then the second one to boost him up was that Wu-Tang album.
Yeah.
At which point he was basically just trolling everybody. Look how much
Yeah.
money I made being a dick.
Yeah.
And
Which
now
made
I'm
people start
biased.
looking into why they should hate him, and they're like, oh, hey, wait a minute here. And
We
yeah.
found a
Moral of the
reason.
story: don't brag in rap videos.
There'd be no rap videos then.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
he
that's
just
all
bought it
about,
because he
F
could.
the police and, whatever. I mean, you've always got that they're going to rap about. Java Stoner 420. All right. I guess he really likes
Coffee and
he likes hemp coffee.
Yeah.
Jay, from your personal opinion, would you recommend AIO or custom loop or water cooling? I've done a whole video on that. Just go into my channel, search AIO, and you'll find it. Let's see. Dylan Young, Adablade weather.
Adelaide.
Oh,
Yeah.
Adablade. Is that a place?
It's
Adelaide?
Australia, I believe.
Oh, okay, weather is 88 degrees today. Tomorrow it's going to be 107 degrees, and on Sunday 27 degrees with rain. Wow. Even your weather's trying to kill you. Let's see.
Well, it's Australia.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's raining
There's a
huntsman
video.
spiders.
There's a video.
Of like everything that tries to kill you.
Yeah, but there's just one video. These guys are like playing golf, and they're sort of vlogging. And this guy's sitting in the cart, and he's like filming his buddy who's a few yards ahead, getting ready to swing. And you hear like, "Oh my God, get in the cart! Get in the cart!" This kangaroo came out of the bushes and started like trying to kangaroo box at them. They're
Yeah.
driving away in their golf cart. This thing is like running next to them, trying to literally kick their ass.
You're getting GTA'd by a kangaroo.
Yeah.
Go,
These guys are
go.
just golfing. How about another one where these guys are hiking and these birds just come out of nowhere and start swooping in, like trying to stab them with their beaks in Australia.
You know, I don't want vacation.
I will if I ever make it to Australia. I'm going nowhere near the bush. That's for sure.
Man. I'll
Wait
just
a
leave
minute.
that.
Whoa.
Water.
Let me rephrase that. I'm not going to the
It's
outback.
been years since you've done that anyway.
You never shave anymore. All right. Sam Thraves again. What do you all want for Christmas? Also, have you ever played the game? The game? Is that a game? Game?
The game?
Explanation point.
We play with Double Dick.
If not, Wikipedia the game.
Okay.
I will do that later. I'm gonna say what's on my Christmas list because I already told you earlier. And I'm gonna get Fallout for this. Are you ready? My whole Christmas list is almost Xbox One stuff exclusive.
Oh, wait, console
Does that
peasant,
include-
blah, blah, blah.
The only game I even play, even though I have several games, like I play Batman Lego Gotham 3 or whatever, Little J. I have Forza 6, obviously. I have this Forza 6 edition.
You keep beating me at it.
Someday you'll learn how to drive a car.
You can't beat Nick. That's
Based
not
on
okay.
controller. I know, that's a hate crime.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just couldn't help
Guys,
it.
come on.
Come on.
I also got it's one of these like zombie survival games. Like
Dying Light.
Dying Light, yeah.
I know
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
You don't. But you have it.
I have it, and I was like, I was at GameStop. Thought it looked fun, but no, I want the plug and play charging kits for the controllers because they're not, and then I want that double stand to let them charge. Because little Jay and I love to play the Xbox. You were playing it earlier with her, right? She was playing.
Oh, yeah, we played
The Xbox
on the
360 because that's
Yeah.
what I put in her playroom. Yeah. And then there was like some car parts and stuff on there, but I'm pretty sure the wife's not going to go and buy me SPL titanium camera control arms and.
You never
But it's
know.
on the list, you know.
You never know.
Anyway.
What about you, Nick?
Yeah, you guys.
I mainly just put gift cards, honestly. 'Cause,
Really?
Yeah, I kind of splurged this month.
Everyone hates gift cards though. Like it's all over the internet. Like, oh god, more gift cards.
Serious?
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind gift
I
cards.
like them.
Yeah.
It's better than the person that doesn't know shit
Okay.
about you. Like, here's your cracker. And
Visa
bell.
gift cards,
Exactly.
yeah. American Express gift cards are not taken everywhere, and store-specific cards like Best Buy card. I don't want that.
Why'd I get a card to the dress barn? What the hell?
Like, no, like, I specifically put, like, if you're gonna get me gift cards, get me, like, Amazon, Steam, or
Victoria's
Best Buy.
Secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind those.
Does this
either.
come in my size? Just go walking into the dressing room.
Like, yo, I got this. I need to spend it.
Yes. What's the weight limit on this thong? I'm curious. For me, you almost get to that time in your life where it's like the stuff you want
Doesn't matter.
you either already have or is way too damn I want a new house. You know, it's like I need a new car.
I want an add-on.
Yeah. So for me, honestly, like the attainable gifts are like just Steam gift cards because then I can pick what the hell I want to buy.
Right.
From a tech standpoint, it sounds really douchey, but like a lot of us get tech just as part of like
It does.
the industry we work in.
It does sound very tech first world problem, but not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, and everyone before that included water cooling parts and computer parts, graphics cards that I would tell the wife like I'd really like this graphics card, and she's like $500. It's kind of ruined now. A lot of the excitement of a new tech product or PC part is gone, and I kind of hate that. I've vented on Twitter before where it's kind of like a passion of mine has been depassionified, if that makes sense. In terms
That's
of
a JJ word.
depassionified.
Depassionified.
Look it up. It exists, I think. Anyway, I still like getting my hands on this stuff to review it, but it's not like I got this new graphics card. I've really wanted it. Yay, it's going on my system. I'm gonna play games and have a great time. It's not like that anymore. Like it is for you.
Yeah.
Like I loaned you a 980 Ti, and you were like, "Oh my god!"
I lost my shit.
You called it the GTR graphics card.
I'm still sweating. I'm still
Yeah.
sweating this out.
I know, right? It's still in the box from when you gave it back.
You're like,
Sorry.
you were like complaining that I was like gingerly taking it out.
It's
Dude,
funny.
just throw it at the
No,
case.
you should have seen him taking this graphics card out of the case. He's like,
It's like a
turning
whole
the
process for
screwdriver
me.
like super slow. Then he takes it out. He's like, it makes like a creak, and he's like, huh. He like kind of pauses for a second. He's like inspecting, make sure it's not stuck on anything, and then he kind of like takes it out. Me, when it's just like bam, crashes my foot in there, yank it out. You start to
You have
learn.
different approaches.
You start to learn, just like babies, they're not as delicate as you think they are. Like the first time you drop your kid, you think, oh my god, I dropped my kid. I'm just kidding, guys. I've never dropped the baby.
Now you just like come home and spike the kid on the floor. Boom, I'm home. Well, and I think the other thing is, like, obviously I've done much of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And at first, like the clinch factor of like, okay, I'm putting this, $800 video card onto my motherboard that has a $1,000 processor. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to break anything. And then you get to the point where it's like, you're not treating it without respect, but you're not like that, oh my god, this is so fragile thing.
Yeah.
Like, you do stuff you shouldn't do. Like, where's that video card? Oh, it's
Like-
propping that door open. Let me
Like
get
taking
that,
drills to motherboards.
Yeah.
Because the other two you checked had clearance, but the one you decided to drill on was the one that didn't.
I don't see any traces right here. This should be good.
I kind of just look at it differently though, because like if I break something, that's on me to replace it.
Unless it's PC parts, you just text me like, Jay, broke graphics card. I'm like,
Or,
gotcha, bro.
Like the keyboard was the most.
That's how you get SLI. Oh, that TI died. Got another one?
I should try it in the future. But like I don't know, from my standpoint, it's like if I break it, I really can't afford to replace it. So that's why I have to be That's why I'm so ginger at stuff. Like even on the car, like
What's that supposed to mean?
gentle.
Says the
Why is it
guy.
ginger?
I'm sorry.
Says the guy who
Sorry.
like. He's talking about being ginger on his car. Yeah, says the guy who like Dukes of Hazzarded it the other day.
That was one time.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
I
And
gave him
right
the
there.
front bumper,
What's going to happen
so-
to Nick next?
Is
Find
that
out next
moment?
week as we turn into a good old boy.
Nick's like, why am I stuck in the air? What the hell? It's the most grand clearance I've ever had.
We're done. Cut. Like, guys, you gonna get me down?
Yeah,
It's
like
like a
the
Guy Coke commercial, just like swinging.
like the look on your face when I was at your house the other night. We were trying to play Forza 6, and your account, like for some reason, was like error, and it kept logging you out. You were like, "Oh no!" Like I see it through your head, like, "Is it my live account? Is it my Xbox? I don't know. Find out next week when we." But it's like the look on your face was like, "I can't afford another Xbox."
I take my problem solving seriously.
No, you've got real world problems. Trust me. It's like I said.
It's different.
That's always that. You've got some serious problems.
You've got some problems, man. If you can't afford to replace your Xbox like that, God.
They're
My
disposable to me. That's my
My
Thursday
bad.
Xbox.
Nick is here to
Screw
keep
it.
the income status quo a little bit equalized. No, I'm just kidding. You know, the joke's on us because he is at
appreciate
an
my parts.
Ivy League university getting his business degree, and in like 4 years he's gonna be like, Jay, while you're washing my car, make sure you get that spot out right there. That would be like, remember that time I was popular on YouTube? Yeah, shut up, wash my car.
I used to make videos. You need to shut the hell up.
I don't see you making a video on my car. Shut up and keep waxing.
I didn't ask you to speak, Jay.
That's gonna be the reality of it here. Ryan Hoffman donated $10. He said for a night out. Hey, I live in California. It's got to be at least 25. I'm just kidding. Let's see.
Jay's a dickhole.
If you're gonna wear the dickhole title, you have to own it.
You own the dickhole. That's for sure.
The question is whose.
I do not want to rent that.
Boosted Diesel says gave to Jerry last week. Wanted to make sure Jay got a taste. I like the taste of green. Literally, it's green. It's a green comment. Where'd they all go? Yes, you like how it just like completely just ignores what I was doing and scrolls on its own.
Real quick, someone has asked me, and I've gotten this question a lot before.
Go.
Where is it at here? Oh, yeah, the new Corsair H5, does it fit in the Note 202? I have not tested it. I don't believe it does, though. I mean, just looking at it, it looks taller than
H5, it's that
56.
air cooler?
It's that new, like, low-profile liquid cooler.
Oh, I doubt
That
it.
was based, like, in the Bulldog. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like it's too tall, so I doubt it.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. Like, stock Intel cooler only has, like, maybe 4 millimeters of clearance.
Well, and the thing is, like, that we do get, obviously, a lot of pushback on, or we've had a lot of questions about, is like, well, what if it accommodated this, like, say, a slimline optical drive, or 3.5-inch drives, or this, or that? The thing is, like, in the design phase, when you start looking at, like, we want something, like, this thick, right?
Yeah.
Very, very thin profile.
And that's
like,
the constant you stick to.
yeah, and it's like, okay, well, if we add, 3.5-inch support, it's going to get about that thick, and then, it's the optical drive is going to get about that thick, and then it's like, let's consider liquid cooling, it gets about that, and then pretty soon, the whole design premise you went with is like, now it's back to the width of a normal mid-tower. So, that's not the end-all be-all case. Obviously, it's somewhat niche-y. You could use it for like a Steam box. You can use it for like a console killer. You could use it for like a media center, probably like you'll use it for a great LAN system because it's very compact. But it's not a do-everything system.
It's like if you need something a little bit bigger, and I have both, like the Node 605.
Yeah,
would be the next step up.
Or if you want to have mini ITX with solid liquid cooling support, you could do like the Core 500.
Right.
It's like it all kind of depends on what you want to do with it, and it'd be great to fit all that stuff in there. But a perfect example is you never make everybody happy. The Core 500 has a 5
If you want one
optical.
case that fits everything, it's a shipping container.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Well, and with the Core 500, it's got a 5 1/4 bay.
Yeah.
And then we get some people like, yay, 5 1/4 bay. And other people like, oh, that sucks. Why is there a 5 1/4 bay? It's like, the 5 1/4 bay is removable, so best of both worlds. And we still get crap.
And you even have to make your choices there, because if you want to use, say, a fan controller or something up there, then you lose one of the fan slots.
And that's the reality. It's like when you're going for a smaller case, you do have to make those considerations.
Yeah.
And you have to look at, okay, to accommodate every possibility, we're right back up into a mid-tower. That's why
Right.
we're trying to make something different. So hopefully that makes some sense.
Let's see. Sorcerer X says, hey guys, when do you think we'll start to see more 24 to 27-inch IPS G-Sync panels at an affordable price? Probably, I'd say another year.
Mm-hmm.
Panel technology is moving pretty quick now to where it's dropping even faster than I thought it would. Remember when the Swift came out?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a $900 panel?
Yeah.
Now you can get them for $5 and some change on sale.
Well, then expect obviously there's going to be a bunch of CES announcement about next-gen monitors that won't be out right at CES.
Right.
But when those start trickling in, you'll see stuff pushing
well,
down.
we last CES, who is it that owns the DisplayPort technology? What's the...
I know what you're talking about.
The DisplayPort technology is owned by a company, and they were actually showing some of the newer generation DisplayPort and the bandwidth of it. Because remember, what keeps high refresh rate, high pixel density monitors at 60 FPS is the bandwidth of the cable, not necessarily the panel. The panel technology, I have a feeling, the moment the cable technology is there and refined, and I think we'll see 144 hertz IPS panels in no time. This one right here is 100 hertz IPS. It's a QHD, and I'll tell you right now, and I'm gonna open up this can of worms and chat and let everyone fight about it. 60 to 100 FPS, that 40 FPS jump is very noticeable, but that 100 to 144 is much less noticeable.
I would argue it's the same with 1080p to 4K. Like I've got two 4K monitors, and the difference between 1080p and 4K to me is less noticeable than the 720 to 1080 jump.
Yeah.
And the reality is like there's pretty much like a dearth of 4K content, right? Like it's like originally when I had them, it's like 3 people on YouTube are actually filming in 4K, and then you get YouTube's versions like it's so compressed, it's not really 4K.
It looks more like a Blu-ray 1080p on your computer, like an optical drive. Native like physical content on 1080p Blu-ray, and they were the same.
Yeah.
In fact, some of the streaming at 4K even had more jaggies or some. In fact, I think Linus did that test where he compared streaming 4K through like Netflix 4K service or Hulu's 4K and compared it to banding in the color gradient than say the disc.
Well, and that's why I guess what I appreciate about it is just the screen real estate. That's mainly what I use it for. What about you, Nick? What do you think? I want to include you.
He just stepped up from 720 to 1080.
Yeah, like it's an amazing jump for me, and
he's just discovered 1080.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He went from 720.
No. It's very.
You stepped up to 720. Actually, last year you had like that 900 by.
That was the 720.
No, 720 is 1280 by 720.
The Acer Mario was like 1200 by 900 or something. Like
Yeah, he was running like one of those old 1200 by 900. Like was it a 4x3?
Yeah. My bad.
My bad.
No, actually, your first 1080p experience was the
Acer
VQ
or
that Asus panel, the VG 30 or
24 QBE.
Yeah, I can't remember the number anymore. It's one of the best. It's one of the best 1080p panels, like for under $300.
It's amazing.
But the thing that sucked about that was it was right on the cusp of G-Sync technology. So you could upgrade it to G-Sync by installing the module, but that was like a $200 upgrade.
Well, and I think that like when we used to deal with like more high-end graphics cards again back in the day when I was a system integrator, like you'd have those evolutionary and revolutionary leaps, right? And it's like for me, it was more revolutionary if it's like I could walk into one room, see the graphics on screen rendered by whatever video card, and then walk into another room and still be able to remember the difference. And it's more evolutionary where it was like they had to be side by side for you to see the difference. And it's like if that's the case, at least for me, it's not worth the upgrade because it's not that you don't get that wow factor. Whereas like for you probably got more of a wow factor go to 720 or 1080 than I got going from 1080 to 4K. And I really didn't go to 4K for the high.
Not to mention, like that's a 4K panel right there, the monoprice one. I have 3 or 4 4K panels. That one has. I like that one because it has no sync technology, no G-Sync, no FreeSync.
Is that the 28-inch Crystal?
That's
Pro?
the 28.
That's what I have.
Yeah, with the only thing I don't like is the glass on it, obviously, but.
It's got glare, but like the way mine's mounted, I don't have any issues.
Yeah,
with it.
I've seen people also peel that and go back to a matte.
Steel wool.
No, I'll try that and then
off that,
we'll just buff it.
Yeah.
No, the problem I have is all the new 4K panels have some sort of sync, FreeSync or G-Sync. And when I'm doing graphics card reviews, especially on the test bench, I've noticed some graphics cards, like say AMD hooked up to a G-Sync panel, gives me some odd behavior.
Yeah, they don't play
Even
nice.
though it's turned off on the monitor, there's still something in there. And vice versa. I had a FreeSync panel hooked up that was acting weird with some NVIDIA cards. So I use that monoprice for my test bench because it has no proprietary communication or software in there at all. But even that is set to a 1080p desktop, and then in games I'll set it up to 4K if I want. Because even though you go 4K, right, 4K at native resolution is like unreadable. So then the UI will auto scale up if you're on 8 or newer. 7 you have to do it manually. But for the most part, 1080p or 4K monitors are amazing because if you want to go back and forth with 1080p and 4K, you don't get any of that fuzziness because 4K is exactly 4 1080p panels. It's literally a grid of 1080p panels. So the pixels are literally four pixels make one 4K when upscaled to 1080 or downscaled to 1080p. Whereas if you took say a QHD and made it 1080p, it looks like shit because it's because the pixels aren't perfectly squared at that point.
So for like you as a gamer, like what matters most to you? Like ultimate resolution, screen response time. I mean, like obviously a blend of both.
I think more and more, at least for me, it's becoming screen response time. I mean,
Response or refresh rate?
The refresh.
Okay, because remember, response is how long it takes for
to come the card to the monitor.
Well, response time is the amount of time it takes for that that pixel to go from gray to gray, which is on, white, gray again.
Yeah.
That's response time. Or refresh rate. No, response time, sorry.
Yeah.
Refresh rate is how many times the screen as a whole can refresh information to the pixel per second.
I think it is refresh rate then. Because, like, I don't know, it's kind of like when I was on 720p, like I always used to oogle at the TVs that we saw at Best Buy just because like it's so smooth, it runs so
It's
smooth.
like when you saw that first 120 hertz TVs with that smoothing,
snowboard video,
the smoothing,
yeah, like it is extremely smooth. And then like when I finally got the 1080, I'm like, I really like how smooth it is. And like the games, at least when I played CS:GO, like I really do like it's a little bit more fluid. You can notice it.
Oh, it's very noticeable, especially since you had a 780 at the same time.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, the only thing that was kind of
feels.
unfortunate for you was you went from a 720p
straight to 1080,
60 hertz, straight to a 1080 144 hertz. You didn't go 1080 60 and then 144. So you kind of had this huge jump.
Yeah.
Where if you go into your desktop, you should do this and tweet later and bug him to do it and get his response.
Switch it down to 60.
Switch it down to 60 hertz in the resolution settings and then play and see how you feel. People have told me, Jay, you're just a big snob that you have to deal with more than 60 hertz. 60 hertz is fine. It is until you've experienced greater on a daily basis and then go back.
Yeah, so used to it.
It looks to me like 30 FPS compared to 60. It's insane. But I do stand by the fact that I don't notice 100 to 144 as much as I notice 60 to 100.
Well, then you talk about all that shit and you don't game worth a shit.
Yeah, but that's because it's so smooth. I'm so like, ooh, ah.
God, look at that cursor just dragging across the desktop.
Look at the grass swaying. It's so smooth.
Oh my God. The Barry Manilow videos on YouTube are just so soft and cuddly.
I know, right? I know. This setup really does nothing but edit now. It's kind of a waste.
But that's where it kind of comes back to, it's like, you do you, right? If that's what you like doing, and that's where I think it comes in. People like there's so much elitism where people want to be like, oh, it has to be like this, has to be like that. Oh, you got this video card. That sucks.
It's okay to feel like it has to be that way for you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like if you like benchmarking and that's your thing, then go for that. Like for me, it's like visual clarity to a certain degree is a large deal. Now, granted, I don't want a refresh rate that looks like a freaking slideshow or PowerPoint.
Yeah.
But also, I've never had, and so far I don't feel the need for anything like 144 hertz panel. I don't really play like fast twitch shooters like CS:GO. I usually do more like the tactical Rainbow Six.
Have you ever sat down and tried it though?
No. Shut up! I don't need to upgrade my monitor.
That's why. That's why. But as long as you're on 4K, you're not going to get it for a while.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. It's like also I wanted like a large real estate monitor, so it's like because reality. Excel spreadsheets. I mean, what I do like 80% of the day.
Look how smooth that cursor's blinking.
Well, yeah, and it's like I'm doing like I might have like a YouTube channel up here. I might be tracking a metric over there. I might be working on email over here, and it's like that's the reality of my life. And it's like when I stream is like at midnight.
Yeah.
And hell, by then my
You're
eyes
so
are so
tired,
shot,
you
I
can't
can't
even
even see
tell
the
anyway.
screen. Look like Stevie Wonder, like my head rocking back and forth.
Smile on the stuff.
Yeah, we are.
Let's see. DD Wright 12345 says, as a YouTube Red user, and he puts in there, don't hate me, I pay for music, not YouTube. How has the red stain, is that what they're calling it, red stain? How has the red stain been treating you now that the month has passed? Is it as bad as you and Jerry were thinking? All right, we were just talking about this earlier.
Yeah, we were.
First of all, we still don't know yet because remember, they rolled out the free service on the 18th. So tomorrow is the end of that month, and then YouTube takes like 4 or 5 days to actually get analytical data to catch up. I can tell you this, though. We see more right now from YouTube Red incoming from the existing music users like yourself than we saw as a reduction of AdSense revenue. So it was more with YouTube Red than we lost. So it's actually an improvement. Mm-hmm. And I expect once the free month is up that we're going to see more money from that because we saw money from accounts that already existed. Like everyone who signed up for a free account, we didn't get a dime. So all we're going to do is gain for the people who kept their account, which is fine. It's a lot of people researched this. YouTube swore it wasn't going to be the end of the YouTube career. It was supposed to be a better experience for the user and for the person making a living on there. And so far there hasn't been any adverse effects. There was no like, oh my God, earnings fell through the floor. It wasn't, and it's also segmented completely different from main earnings, so you can actually track how the YouTube Red earnings are doing. And same thing with like the donations you guys are doing. That has a separate bucket that money goes into, so you can see how transactions work. So it's not bad. It's really not.
There was a question on I think on the stream channel was earlier, like, what are each of our favorite sports cars?
Free.
I know, right?
Any free sports car.
Okay, well,
You go first.
If you could buy any car you want, you're going Koenigsegg, aren't you?
no.
Wow. Well, that much I've heard you talking about Christian Koenigsegg.
Yeah, I watched the video.
You know,
You're like,
he's
you're
in
like,
Sweden,
you're like,
right?
even,
Yeah.
you're like, even Christian is aerodynamic.
Yeah.
From his head, it's
He has
shaved.
no eyebrows.
He has no eyebrows. They're like
He's
completely
fully
waxed.
committed. He's committed to his craft.
Yeah. No, well, I don't know. It depends. But if I had to pick one car right now, it would probably be like an E30 M3.
You would say that.
I would.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like I think the older body styles are kind of cool for me.
I see you picking up old chicks. Like, I like your body style. It's very retro.
I remember when
The
this
sugar
car
moms.
was new.
There's wheels on that walker, isn't there?
It's a Model. If you're picking up old ladies in Model Ts. I had one of the first ones that existed.
I remember electricity.
You know, I'll be honest. I'm not. I know we said sports car, but if we're going like fantasy car,
Yeah, and it can't be just for the resale. Like, I want a Veyron so I can sell it and buy 2 houses.
I think
No.
those are going down anyways.
Yeah.
I would love me, and this is not a sports car. I would love me like an old Galaxy, lowered with like some tasteful rims on it. That was just like a cruiser.
What
I
about
love
the
seeing.
curb
Sometimes you
crashes?
see these old caddies that are just done up nice.
Mhm.
I like that, and I'm not talking about like bags or hydraulics. Just a nice low cruiser car that you would go out on a date with the wife, and people were like, "Damn, like a '63 Impala, not like L.A. '63 Impala, but like a real '63 Impala." You know, that sort of thing. I've never been a huge sports car guy, which is kind of funny to say considering I have a sports car today. But
Two.
okay, I have 2 right now for the moment.
I got SLI in my driveway.
No, but that's like it's like AMD SLI. I have like the 270
Yeah.
and a 380.
Yeah, crossfire going.
Yeah, crossfire. But so I see these Veyrons and these Koenigsegg's and what's the Zonda? Like I don't care about those cars.
See, for me, like, again, money no object and not for resale value, like probably like a Pagani Huayra. Just like it, honestly, the level of like craftsmanship that goes into it, like when you look at them, the way they're made, it's like they're a beautiful car from like a craftsman standpoint.
Pagani's Italian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a Horatio Pagani, right? And like I think he worked for Ferrari back then. I don't remember all the details. I'm not that nerded out, but yeah, I'd love to have that car until I killed myself in it 3 days after I got it.
Are you
because
too
I'm
tall
not
for that car though? I heard there's like some height requirement.
That's
for,
why I
like,
did. That's why I haven't bought one.
Oh.
Actually, you know the height thing. I was going to get 3 of them, but you know they don't accommodate me. Well, I don't know because like the 911, which is
There's a lot of legroom.
yeah, it looks like a small car from the outside, and it's like I can fit in that.
But remember the
front.
whole remember the old advertisements for the VW Bug? Like it's round because of it makes sense for interior space. Remember that?
Yeah.
They were showing like all the domes and.
But like when I first saw Josh's car, I was expecting the engine to be right behind us. Like,
Yeah, and it's
when
a
we
2
got
plus
in there,
2.
Yeah, we got in there like, oh my god, there's
There's
baby
back-
seats,
there's a
and
back
then
seat.
there's the engine.
Yeah.
Way
I was like,
back.
yeah, Nick, why don't we climb back there and see what those seats are like?
Whoa! It is weird though. I'll never get used to a rear engine car to hear you get on the throttle and it's like behind me.
yeah.
I'm like, oh god, I'm backwards.
There's someone following us. Jay,
Step
settle
on it.
down. They're still there. They're getting louder.
Go faster. Let's see. Ramo Killer. Wow, these names, they're amazing.
They're fierce.
Question for Double Dick. Are you already designing a new case for the Define series?
I can't believe your wife told you. Let's see here. No, are we already designing a new case for the Define series? Okay, here's my first thing. I'm not allowed to talk about products that might not be in development, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's always something in the works. And that kind of leads back to like what we're talking about with cars is you're always working on something. It's kind of like you don't kick out a product and then like, let's see how that does, and we'll wait. And so I can't confirm whether we're working on that or not. But we do have new products in the queue. And
Can I answer that for Fractal?
sure, you can try.
Okay. I've never known a
Here,
company.
let me just sit back and listen.
I've never known a company that's still in business to design something and then just go,
Look at it.
now what?
Tasty.
Right? It's like we talked about with the car
Yeah.
thing. Once you're done, you're actually.
They keep
It's
going.
probably safe to assume from most companies, and you don't have to answer this, is that the next product's already in development, like you said, before the product that you're buying is even done.
So now what I will say is like, you know, the Define series is obviously one of our most popular series.
I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But the reality of it is, we still do market feedback. So there's a little bit of like how was that received? But you don't stop working on what you're working on. I'll say another edition of the Define series the next year is entirely a possibility.
Well,
but
look
also
how,
there
look how
might be,
long the R4 was around.
yeah, and part of that, the R4 was around for about 2 years before the R5 came out, and part of that's
that's an eternity in Corsair time.
Well, and part of that's there's some degree of it ain't broke, don't fix
Yeah.
it. But then we also wanted to make sure the R5 had reason to exist. Now, hey, it's the R4 with 2 newer
You
bullet
managed
holes
to
in the back.
completely alienate EATX owners.
I know.
You're like, well, Jay has EATX, so that's fine. Let's concave that just enough.
Just to
Fuck that guy.
screw with them. I mean, just because Kyle could get an EATX motherboard in the case and you can't.
I don't know how to mod.
I know. But that's the thing, though. You also look at usage patterns, right? Like when we go out and do our market research, no matter what you do, someone's going to be pissed, right? Like there are people okay, so the Define R5 obviously has removable drive cages, both optical and hard drive. And then the Define S was just more like the wall mount, right? Where it's designed to really support liquid cooling, but yes, it works as an air-cooled case. We have people man, it'd be awesome if the Define S had an optical drive and more drive cage. That would be the R5. Go get the R5 then. And you try to make your products different enough to where it's not just 2 shades off of this product, because then it gets confusing. But again,
it's a big deal though. Like you talked about removable cages. Just a couple of years ago, in 2013, I did a client build. It was a water cooled build. It was in a SwiftTech or no, not SwiftTech 8s. No, NZXT Phantom 810 or 820, Phantom 820. That we wanted to take out the cages, but of course they weren't removable, so we had to drill them out.
Rivet it in.
That was just 2 years ago. I mean, you guys talked about the manufacturing thing earlier. It's a lot more cost and labor intensive to drill and tap all those holes and make sure everything's lined up right, because then those pieces are made separately, and then somebody has to drill and tap and screw that all back together, whereas a machine could do riveting too. It's a testament to manufacturing processes advancing too, to where even $100 cases can have fully modular, removable, threaded drive cages, expansion slots, and things like that. I mean, that's a big deal to me. And so you can make it your own without having to, the cages are removable, but the 5 1/4 isn't, so now you got to drill those out, which a lot of cases still have partially removable trays and stuff. I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, so it's trying to make it as flexible as possible, while trying to still make sure that it has an identity and it masters something, right? Because the whole jack of all trades, master of none. If you try to make one case do everything, it's going to do none of them well.
Right.
So you still want to kind of your focus, and it's between the R5 and the Define S, it's okay, well, if you want this, then you might want to move to this case. It's better suited towards that.
It's always interesting to me, though, some of the compromises companies make, and not just Fractal, but all companies make compromises, like the Cooler Master Master 5, the Master Case 5, which I did in the giveaway. I really was confused when Rajiv showed me the case, and I was looking at it when I did my review, that natively it doesn't support all-in-one water cooling units, right? It just seems to me like that's weird with how cheap and affordable 240 millimeter water cooling units are, that it doesn't natively support it, that you got to get the expansion pieces for it so that you can mount it on top. It seemed to me like a strange compromise, and even the idea of being it's great business because then they have to buy this to make this work. I feel like a lot of people would just move on to the next case, which apparently is happening. A lot of people are not buying Master Case 5s, they're buying Master Case 5 Pro, which already has all that stuff, which then means you have warehouses full of Master Cases that no one's buying. So I don't know. Sometimes it makes me wonder, the design team, it's have you just gone to any web forum, overclock.net, hard OCP, whatever, and just looked at the picture threads? How many of them are using all-in-one coolers?
Yeah.
Most people are not using air coolers when they build new systems today, simply because of the price and the benefit to all-in-one water
the
cooling.
difference between the two is pretty negligible now.
I feel like water cooling...
depending on what you get.
All-in-one water cooling units have increased the adoption rate of water cooling your PC to the highest level it's ever been. I mean, it's probably still more air coolers out there, obviously, than there are water coolers. But remember when you would see tubes in a computer, people were like, "Oh my God, there's water in there." But now it's no big deal. You know? I kind of hope that I'm helping move that movement forward with every computer I've owned in the last 12 years has had water running through it.
Some not intentionally, but
Yeah, the water doesn't always stay where I put it.
Yeah, exactly. We're cool with the big gulp. Just dumped it in there.
Like I said, I'm going to be doing the Gigabyte review for the new water-cooled graphics card. It's funny. It's their new water-cooled graphics card, but it's the card I said they should have made a year ago when they sent me that monstrosity thing.
Yeah, the suitcase full of...
Yeah. So they finally made
when
that
your liquid
card.
cooling setup comes with a jack stand. That
I
should
know,
be-
right? It's a low pro.
But again, it's like there was probably, to a certain degree, a market for that.
But I am glad they waited, though, because I'm going to do this review. They just released they sent me the spec sheet, right? Like, here's the card, here's all the specs, and I'm looking through it going, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, aerospace grade PCB coating? What the hell is that? What does aerospace grade mean? The entire PCB, both front and back, is coated with a water sealed, it's a watertight sealed coating on it. So their video even shows them with a leaking water block above it, dripping water all over the graphics card, and it's still working. I kind of want to ask them, hey, do you really want to put your money where your mouth is and let me test that? And I'm not going to submerge it.
Yeah.
But I think about putting in the test bench and then taking some of my nano fluid in there and just kind of dripping it on the card.
Well, and a decent amount of liquid cooling fluid's non-conductive or low conductive anyway.
Well, I would really want to put it to the test, and I'd go like straight distilled water.
Like salt water.
What, tap water?
Yeah.
All lead water?
Minerals.
Let's see. Messin1 says, Jay, here's a tenner that'll make up for my use of ad block. I just made up for like 4 years of ad block. That's a lot of fingers and bunnies. I don't know what that means.
I'm scared.
I think that's peace and love.
Let's see. Saber Slayer says, hey Jay, it's my birthday today. Wanted to say your videos are great and thanks for streaming on my birthday. Well, thank you for having a birthday on my stream day. I tell your parents thank you. That's awesome.
They planned ahead.
And happy birthdays. Hey Jay, switching the tempo here. What do you guys think the best price per performance gaming laptop out currently, regardless of the name brand, etc., etc.? Tired of paying for the name brand and having mediocre graphics for the price. That's a good question. Daniel Rodriguez brings that up.
Doesn't it always change like every 6 months though? And you can't really change out graphics.
Laptop
on those?
technology changes at the same rate desktop chips and graphics cards do, because they're based off the same technology, usually stripped down a little bit.
All right.
Well, I think even then you break into different categories, like best like desktop replacement huge behemoth or best portable quality.
Because like the one you're on right there, hold it up. This thing right here is an it's an i7 with a true 4-core 8-thread i7, not the 4-core. It's a 980 mobile in there, not the new full 980. Those haven't actually made it out to reviewers' hands yet. But this thing is freaking huge. Feel the heat coming off that. He's not even gaming. Right here, that's the intake.
Yeah.
This is the exhaust.
Well, even I'll feel the intake.
Yeah,
It's still
super hot, and it's just he's not even gaming on that. But the point is, anytime you get a laptop that has a discrete graphics, the price is like double what any comparable laptop CPU and memory wise is going to be. You guys saw the video I did. I bought the wife an MSI gaming laptop, has a discrete 960 in it, and that was still $1,200.
Yeah, and I think the thing is too, it's like, what do you consider a laptop? Like for you, like is it mobile gaming or is it like, hey, when I'm on the road, I don't need to game. When I get back home and plug it into my either docking station or I want to stream out to a monitor, is that good for you? Because there's some where it's like, if you try and game on battery, you're not going to game on battery.
No.
It's like you just
remember, battery life is never measured in gaming performance. It's like standby performance.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's like viewing a web page in reverse color, black background, white text, right? Because white pixels use more energy than
with
black.
no contrast on. Yeah.
Because black obviously is pixels off.
But like, do you have like any suggestions? Because honestly, I don't follow laptops enough because I don't ever plan on doing like a mobile gaming thing.
When I bought the wife's laptop, a couple of manufacturers were willing to send me one. Like, oh, you want to get your wife a laptop? I turned them all down because I wanted to be a consumer for that front. It had been a long time since I'd owned my Alienware Aurora back in 2006 since I've had a gaming laptop of any sort.
Back in the day.
I know, it sounds so long ago, right? 10 years ago. It's an eternity for PC parts. I went to Fry's 2 days in a row, spent several hours there literally getting as hands-on as I could with the display units, which are all memory leaked and all messed up because people messing with them. The display units are never going to perform as good as they will in your home. I have to say, anything that has at least an i5 and a 950 discrete graphics card is going to get you decent 1080p medium performance, but you're still going to pay at least $1,000 for that. Once you start stepping it up, you got to ask yourself, how much are you going to be gaming on the laptop? Most of them are going to be 1080p. This is even a 1080p panel. I thought it was going to be like QHD, but it's not.
Yeah.
This is still a $3,000 laptop. Ridiculous. Ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, you're paying the premium for having to be mobile, and even mobile somewhat in quotation
Mobile
marks.
bragging rights with Asus logo and anodized vents and little stuff like that.
But it depends on. If that's your usage scenario, so like if you're going to college, you have a small dorm room, and you don't have room for like a monitor, small form factor, whatever. If you only have, and there's a lot of people say, hey, I need one PC and I need it to be mobile, but I'd like to game. I don't have infinite cash to build a desktop and a
But to keep the price down, a lot of the times what they'll do to save money is they save it in the panel technology. Where I compared the wife's Apache, the wife has an Apache 17-inch, to the Asus G Series 15-inch, which were the same price. And I went with the Apache ultimately because it had the 960, it had an i7, and the screen and the color looked amazing. They're all TN panels at that price range. But the screen and the color looked great, whereas the Asus G Series at the $1,200 price point looked washed out. Just completely washed out. But I can't tell you what the exact best price to performance is going to be, but I can tell you that dollar amount tends to be right around $11.99, where you're going to get a good gaming experience where you're not thinking, wow, this is laggy and crappy. Where when you spend more than that, you might start thinking, did you get anything for your money? Because it's not going to be, you can still buy a $2,000 laptop that has a 960M in it.
Yeah.
It has 1 terabyte SSD, it has a better, like maybe a QHD panel, it has a better keyboard. The money went somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I hate answering the question of best laptop because it's so dynamic. It's harder to answer that question than desktops.
Real quick, so John on Twitter said, Define Mini has been around since forever. No demand/market for a new revision. Never said that. I said that I cannot confirm products that may or may not be in development. So I'm not saying that there is or there isn't a revision plan.
That's a classic case of heard what he wanted to hear and not what you said.
And John's a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
And so to that end, I can't say that there is or that there isn't. I can say we do listen to consumer demand. That's why the blackout came in, is because people basically wanted an all-black case. So
I think we should get Nick's answer to this too. I'm going to answer a tweet you put out like 6 months ago.
Okay.
Where you asked, like, pie in the sky, what would you want to see in a case?
Mm-hmm.
Me, I want to see more integrated lighting.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of builders...
You're wrong. That's not what you want, but go ahead. No.
Well, I thought that's what I wanted till now.
Let me tell you what you want. What you really, really want.
Okay, go ahead, Apple. Tell me.
Okay. You want a charge port on the bottom. We'll put the AC adapter on the bottom.
Yeah, the headphones on the bottom as well.
Is that the watch that's on the bottom?
No, like their new mouse. Like you have to flip it over to plug in the USB
Instead of being
cable.
able to just plug in a cable and keep going?
Yeah, you literally have to flip it over. Like it's upside down. It's
And
like
then-
right in the middle of it too.
And then your mouse is just useless until it's charged.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because you didn't want to work then anyway.
No.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead with your lighting thing.
Well, I think a lot of people buying like the Fine series cases, they have the windows, would like to light up their system. And it's really, it's a pain in the ass to find the right lights, get them mounted right, get them wired, plugged into your power supply unit, get the cables nice and neat. A lot of companies like NZXT and Fantex are starting to look at this integrated lighting, and I think it's a big selling point, personally. I don't know how much it costs to integrate it, I really don't, but I think that's something I'd like to see. I also like underglow. As much as I hate to say that the
Are you
Razer...
putting it on the 370?
Not yet.
Underglow?
The what?
Underglow on your 370.
Oh, God.
Fast and Furious, come on.
I'm going to go RGB.
You already got the wing I could hang my laundry on.
I'm going to go RGB, and I want it to do the spectrum.
You
the
should
spectrum.
sync it to your music.
Oh, yeah.
It just makes it look like your capacitor is going out.
Okay, as rice as
Give
my
people
computer...
epileptic seizures as you drive down the road.
As rice as it might sound, I'm going underglow on this case when I do the update. I like the way that looks on your desk. Like I like the way monitors look. Like look, this monitor has underglow.
Yeah,
I like
it softens it. It's kind of a cool look.
Also, when the lights are out, it's not purely black. You can mood. You can Netflix and chill in the office.
Netflix.
But I think I'd like to see that because I kind of have felt I've built in almost every case you have now since 2013 or 12 and newer. I felt like that's always what I was missing at the end of the day was like nice lighting in there because you have the integrated fan controllers and stuff, which is nice, but I think lights would look good in there too.
Okay, what about you? Nope.
No.
No.
Whoa.
That's a stupid idea.
Whoa.
Guys, I don't know. I kind of like. I would like to see something where it's a little bit more modular in a sense of where you could place the motherboard instead of always keeping it. Like on your case, you have to keep it in the back. along
To
with
be
power supply.
fair, most Case Labs cases are symmetrical, where I can undo the bolts and flip
Just
the whole
rotate
thing.
it. Yeah,
But who's going to pay $800 for a case for that feature?
exactly.
This is not. This is a niche, like super exclusive group of people who would want this case.
We understand that.
But yeah, so modular motherboard tray.
Yeah, or just something like to.
You know, that's actually not just the tray. That'd be front and back. That has to be modular too.
Well, you
So
have to have,
top and
you have to have a
bottom.
place for the I/O to output,
Yeah.
but it's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they have like those cases now where it just opens up and your motherboard just like pops from the front, like the H case or something like that.
Oh,
Like the
Asus?
$2,000
Yeah,
in-win 8.
yeah.
Well, yes, they do have that, but I want that for $100. Okay.
So you managed to pull out one of the few cases that's more expensive
Than anything else.
than the Case Labs cases.
That's more of a compensation.
What was that
case.
$1,250 case? That Mountain or no, the mod?
UFO. Mods were the big cube.
No, there was this one. Almost looked a lot like a Case Labs case, but it was very sleek. It was all anodized, like all the cable routing was built in.
Oh, are you talking murder mods?
Murder mods.
Yeah.
Yes. That was insane.
Oh yeah, and like they did like bent metal
Yeah.
runs and stuff like that. So the reality is, I hear what you're saying, Jay.
Okay. Well,
And
make it
Nick.
happen.
Oh,
Make it
And
happen.
Nick.
All right.
And
So
Jay,
you
yeah.
guys heard it. Fractal Design is now coming out with a reversible mother tray, automated door with underglow.
Gullwing or Lamborghini scissor doors.
No, what is it called on the Koenigsegg hinge? Where it's like
That
it comes out and like
that would be clamshell, wouldn't it?
I have no idea.
no, he had some
like,
funky
That
name
thing's
for
a
it.
hybrid.
Well, because I know like Gullwing is like straight up,
Right.
Yeah.
like DeLorean, and then there's like scissor for Lamborghini. Then when
Right.
they open up in front, that's supposed to be clamshell.
Koenig-
Like the way that
Koenigsegg-
the
It's like a
McLaren F1.
jellyfish, yeah.
Koenigsegg called it something else, but they said it
Of
was
course they
because their
did.
door is like that thick that. But you know they
They
had
call
to
it bank vault.
they had to
Yeah.
be different.
But so anyway, with what you're saying, you know, the first thing the marketing guy in me is going to tell you, it's like, okay, go to our website, go to the contact us page, and there's a section there that says type product suggestions.
Nobody ever uses those, do they?
Well, and it's like if you want to see something, you know,
Gotta make,
send the message in there because that goes directly to our product developers, and them hearing it from the community is going to carry 10 times more weight than me saying I heard 4 guys last night online
Yeah.
saying they want it. But because the other thing is too is like most people don't take the time to do that. So when they
They
see
just
that
bitch and
someone's
complain on the
take-
forums.
yeah, when they see people take the time to do that, obviously it shows a demand.
Yeah.
Now, if I were gonna like, you know, knock your ideas down, I would say cost is always a concern. If we do integrated lighting in a case, say like the R6 or whatever has integrated lighting, and that bumps the price up by I don't know $20, $40, whatever. We're gonna get a whack ton of people like, Jesus, I don't want to pay for that damn lighting. I'm not gonna use. If the case is $30 cheaper, and then you get into like, well, we offer it with and without.
It
and
sounds
then
to
you get
me,
into
what I'm
forecasting.
hearing here is a lot of blah blah blah. We're afraid of fallout.
No, I don't even play Fallout. No,
Do it, commit to it, and then come to me in a year and say, Jay, you were right.
Mm-hmm. And then like,
Is
say,
that, did
say-
you hear that?
Okay, so say if I commit to it and I come to a year and I'm like, I got a warehouse full of cases that didn't sell, you gonna write me a check?
Are you?
Well, it's not going to clear, but sure.
Yeah, okay. No, my thing is, like I said, I'm not saying we won't do it. It's just
Yeah.
there has to be market demand. That's the way anything works, supply and demand. And
Exactly 1 year ago, I said manufacturers need to make all-in-one water cooling units for graphics cards, and they would be a hit.
You created demand.
just because Jay said it,
Yeah.
it happened.
It did. The timing.
Say
the timing.
stop,
the
stop
timing,
world hunger.
The
Let's see where
timing
that's at
is
here.
way too coincidental to be a coincidence.
That would make it very coincidental.
That and the, I think I also.
Whatever. All-in-one water
I
cooling
did
units
things.
were
I did
out
things.
long before I made that suggestion, and then everyone did it.
I think the backplate one was also one that you started.
I did start a backplate movement though. That is true.
That makes sense.
I did backplates with water coolers. I'm telling you right now.
Just water cooled backplates.
Ooh.
Now we're onto something.
There we go.
Write this down.
Do the thing. Let me timestamp this. Let me get this. But the reality is, yeah, if you guys want to see something, let us know. I mean, that's what we respond to is customer demand. Again, the blackout came up.
Joel
first.
Verrier says Fractal is for old men. So Fractal's like the Old Spice of PC.
It's classy.
So that's the thing, and that
You're
is
like the drag
totally
car.
that's totally your opinion, man, and I respect that. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I totally. I'm not gonna try and shove my case down your throat and say no, it's really good.
But
It appeals to a certain group of
Dalton
people.
Lewis says calling it right now. He's playing Galaga on that laptop.
Damn it, Chet.
Jay knows all. Jay, calm down. Jay, shut up. Rest in peace, headphone users.
That one's from Mrs. JayzTwoCents. Okay.
It's raining up in Jay's nose, and water-cooled GPU AAO came from the GTX 580 from Zotac. Did they do a GTX, a water cooled 580?
I wouldn't.
You know. I think Asus banked a lot on the Poseidon, making it into custom loop users. But I think most custom loop users look forward to putting a block on their GPU. I do.
Yeah.
And there's two of them just sitting up there doing nothing.
Yeah.
You're not using those?
Not yet.
I was gonna say, we play dominoes later.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna fall right in the 202. It's so durable and
Yeah.
robust.
Look, it can take 3 hits from overly priced graphics cards.
The amount of money that's on that shelf
This shelf,
could actually be funneled into your R&D department.
like physically. Come on.
Oh man.
You just put in a meat grinder and out comes money.
Yeah, exactly. Go to the store. I'd like to buy that steak.
You know what I've never
Take it.
understood, and maybe you can explain, since you're in the case market, why Cooler Master does it. Now, granted, I know you're not Cooler Master, but help me understand the point of having the little bracket that attaches to the PSU, and then the PSU that attaches to the case. I've never understood that.
I don't know. I know Lian Lee did it way back in the day. I know for some it's to flip it easier, right? But I mean, it doesn't. I don't know.
You still have to undo the screws to slide it out.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it can be a bitch to mount your power supply in there because, like, you got the different holes for the different orientation. It could just be if they want to standardize it, so it's like either up or down. You slide it back, and here's 4 screw holes that are not offset crazy.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
I legitimately don't know.
I wouldn't mind seeing a tempered glass Fractal case. Well, you can go check out Arctic Panther.
So here's the next thing. The side panel, and I appreciate that. The side panel glass for Arctic Panther is roughly about, that piece of glass is about $80.
It's expensive.
So you do have that aspect. It's like, okay,
And-
you would like to see that. Would you specifically pay, let's say, $200 for an R5 just because it has a tempered
And
glass side
remember, Paul used 3M two-sided tape to mount it.
panel?
Fractal would have to come up with an actual mounting mechanism for it.
See, and I'm not trying, I know everybody thinks I'm saying oh, bullshit, bad idea. That's not it at all. It's like I'm just trying to introduce, from our side, the considerations we have to make. And even if you would pay $200 for an R5, just have an $80 upgrade to a tempered glass side panel, that doesn't mean the market as a whole would. So then say we make, 10% of the R5 lineup has tempered glass. It's like, if those don't sell, because it's not always just us. Like, say if we go to Newegg or another partner, they don't want to have 52 different variants of a single SKU. They want to have okay, we'll bring these in, whichever sell the top 5, those are the only ones we're going to carry.
I kind of want to do tempered glass on this guy because the acrylic, although nice, you wipe this a few times to clean dust off and you have micro swirls.
And I'll say too, it's I would love to see a tempered glass version. I think it's cool. The other downside is it's much heavier, so shipping costs are more expensive. The packaging you have to use around the case to protect it.
You make a boo-boo with that side panel. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's many considerations that fall into that. But I totally hear it, and again, go to our website and tell us. I mean, obviously, Enwin has done tempered glass side panels for retail
They've done
cases.
almost fully glass panels, or fully glass cases.
Yeah, so like I said, there's multiple reasons behind, when you take yourself out of that level of the market,
But at the same time, there's also the expectation of the brand, where if you guys are making affordable, $100, $150 cases, and then it's bam, $300 case, it's kind of like culture shock to the brand.
It would almost be we would have to have a separate high tier case, right? It would be our 900D or Cosmos 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like your deluxe line.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to go for a couple more minutes here, and so it's kind of like a lightning round. If you guys have good questions, post them. Remember, on Twitter, if you're going to be using Twitter, it's #AskTechTalk. Is there anything?
And Nick is checking it.
I am checking.
Oh, wait, he had to close Galaga.
Yeah.
Frank the Walrus says, don't spend it all in one place, $5. I won't, because a coffee is $4.95.
There we go.
Oh, Eminence has the same.
By the way, he still wants to play Forza 6 with us. We need to get on there with either Frank
We
or
need to have
play
a
some Forza.
race day.
I know.
To get us all together, and Josh needs to get on there too.
And I'll just crash into everybody.
Well, they have Pagani, so he'll be okay.
Then next thing
I wrecked that last time I was here. I got the Pagani and the fan.
next time we see Nick tweet, it's about how dead people don't know how to dig first turn, dig a half, blah, blah, blah.
I'm angry. I bitch to you in DM about Rainbow Six. That's just how games are designed. And then you come out here, Forza 6.
Jeremy says a PSU shroud and a defined R5, and I'm sold for life. Please, I love you long time.
You know what to do. And
because a lot of companies are covering that now, so you don't have to deal with seeing the label and
yeah. And I will say that things are in the works. I just can't comment on it. But I feel like
Fantex kind of started that momentum.
I think they brought it forward. Like NZXT's done it with like the H440 and stuff like
Right,
that.
but I feel like that was a response to Fantex. Because Fantex, remember how when NZXT came into the market about 5 years ago, everyone's kind of like, what is this? And then it became like one of the most sought after cases at around the $150 mark. The Switch 810 was like, oh my god, this case. Then the Phantom series, like you had the Phantom.
But I have the Switch 810 now, and I'm like, oh my god, this case.
Well, because you have my old case, yeah. I feel like Fantex.
I'm noticing a trend here.
I feel like Fantex kind of came out of nowhere, where it's like, what text? What's it called? And now it's just like Fantex is everywhere.
I built that computer for my friend. I didn't know about the case, but it had like the built-in LED lighting. I'm like, oh my god, this case.
Oh, you mean integrated lighting? That's really cool.
Yeah.
Why didn't I even think of that?
It had built-in like.
They listened to me.
Yeah.
They listened to me before I knew I wanted it. See, they knew what I wanted.
Mm-hmm. They
Don't
read
tell
your
me,
mind.
Josh.
There's not a whole lot to read, but they read your mind.
Phillips Galas says, do you think Zotac 980 Ti Arctic Storm could cool a CPU without radiator? Would love to see a video. I don't know what the Arctic Storm is. I have to look into it.
I have to say Panini in order for this interaction with the TechTalk.
What about the Half X with the PSU cover? I'm sorry, but the Half X, in my opinion, was always one of the ugliest cases I ever saw. I hated the Half. I hated the Half series altogether.
I think it's very much a personal thing. It's like some people like the industrial look more, some people like the sleek look more.
I couldn't think of any uses for the Half X. Like you stack with other computers.
Who needed 4 200mm fans or whatever it was? I know the front had 2, and I think there was another one on top.
They were trying to make a drone.
Oh. Oh man.
So would it count as a drone if you built it as a kit?
Only if it's autonomous.
It's like a car. Like, does it count as non-op if you built it?
Hub Shepherd. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Ben asked, instead of a $200 case, how about the option to buy an upgrade panel like the master case? Okay, so real quick, it would have to be like through a custom shop. Larger partners like Newegg and stuff don't want to basically carry a bunch of different accessories. We work through Puget Systems in North America. We have a spare parts shop in Germany that handles worldwide stuff. If you Google Fractal Design spare parts shop, that'll show up. But again, it does kind of come down to supply and demand.
I also don't think a lot of people really take the time to think about the cash flow a company like Cooler Master has, where they can take a little more risk with ideas like that. Where Fractal's it's a much smaller group of
we're leaner.
Individuals.
And then someone asked for Define S and White. Again, hit up our contact us page and let them know that's what you want to see. That's again.
I wanted
the
Define
blackout.
S in that titanium, that black pearl.
But yeah,
Black Pearl.
well, we have one.
The Define S.
Mm-hmm.
the
It's
black
black.
No, I'm
You
talking
can put
like
pearls
remember,
in it. You mean like the silver, the gunmetal?
Dazzle it.
like the R4 titanium one,
Oh, okay.
where
yeah.
it was the real brushed metal and all that all around. I did. A customer out in LA has a jewelry store, and he wanted like all new systems that would look good in his jewelry store. This was on before I did I just started doing YouTube reviews. I didn't know you or anything. Went over to Micro Center and bought like 8 of those, and literally wiped out their inventory because when I showed pictures of different cases to the owner of something that would look good in his high-end jewelry store, he saw the brushed metal and just how elegant it looked, and he was like, that's the one. That's the case I want. So we bought out a bunch of them.
Like I said, let us know. I mean, it is supply and demand. We listen to our fans, and like if we get enough demand for it, I'm sure it'd be something that would happen.
Can we get a shiny metal case? That's what someone said.
Yeah, just go ahead and wax your R5.
Yeah.
Might look a little weird, but
Post deadlift PRs. This isn't a weightlifting channel, bro. Anyway, all right, guys. I think that's just about it. Unless there was something on the Twitter feed.
you want to do a last scan real quick?
Not apart from paninis, but
I like paninis.
Oh, green
I
one
like
just popped
paninis
in.
too.
Oh, see, Down Syndrome Nation says, Jay, if Zen turns out to be good, do you think your upgrade skunk works to AMD? I don't think Zen will ever come near the enthusiast chip, especially the extreme chip for Intel. I know that sounds a bit fanboyish to say, but I don't think AMD has what it takes to compete with the enthusiasts. I believe they went after the 4790K, 6700K style mainstream chip. I don't believe they really went after, and not to mention, the new chip is rumored to have 10 cores, 20 threads.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rumor. We're supposed to see in June. We'll see if that.
Well,
comes
and
true or
honestly,
not,
from a
but-
business standpoint, the enthusiast class is not where the companies make their money.
No.
That's more like the marketing vehicle. Like,
that's niche.
like Nvidia, for every 980 Ti they sell, they're selling like 10x,
Yeah.
25x 960s, and
Right, and then even then you compare that number, they're selling way more 950s and like GT 720s.
but you do the high end because it's the whole halo effect. If you're seen as owning that top rung, most people are going to assume you own every rung below it. So. So there's definitely a need for it, but yeah.
Let's see. Saber Slayer says, rate my PC, 4690K, Z87 classified, 16 gigs Vengeance, GTX 950, upgrading to Pascal. Okay, the system sounds good. The GPU is a little underpowered based on everything else. He says upgrading to Pascal. I don't know if this is true. I have had no conversations with NVIDIA about this, but we've seen some leaked info where Pascal might be requiring NVLink, not PCI Express. I still think, and this might really be, this is just purely a prediction. And I've done predictions before, and a lot of them have come true, which is always kind of fun. I don't believe Pascal is going to be their gamer GPU. I believe Pascal because when Jensen got up on stage in GPU conference and was talking about the performance of Pascal being 10 times greater than Titan X in direct compute, I believe that's going to replace Quadro. I really believe that's going to be their
For like folding?
No. For, you understand, CUDA was not designed for games. CUDA was actually designed for professional applications, 3D rendering, CAD rendering, live rendering of direct compute, which was faster on a graphics card than any CPU could keep up. And I believe Pascal is going to be their upgraded series for the professional card. And then I think we'll see a lesser version of it with HBM that still works on PCIe 3. Because I don't think NVIDIA would make the move to make a new graphics card that doesn't work on anyone's motherboard today. That doesn't sound like a business move that NVIDIA would do. And it also would mean that they would have to have inside information on where Intel is going with the new chipset. And we're not even utilizing PCIe 3.0 16x.
Well, there's some crosstalk there. I mean, obviously, NVIDIA works with Intel in development, so is AMD to a certain degree.
But I'd be surprised if NVIDIA or Intel was going to obsolete the PCIe 3 architecture this quickly.
If it did go, I think people would still buy it. Because it's kind of like that phase when Apple switched from that normal, the 30 pin to Lightning. People still got it just because they made it, you know?
The only reason I'm making this prediction and for it being a professional series card is Pascal's rumored to be 8-way SLI compatible or capable. There's no chip on this planet that has enough PCIe lanes to put 8 graphics cards in there. So clearly there's going to be something, I think, coming in terms of the professional side of things, like Xeon processors and stuff obviously dwarf what we have here on our RX 99s and stuff. I don't think the gaming Pascal people are thinking is coming is going to be known as Pascal. That's just a prediction, though. I mean, we'll find out maybe later 2016 if I'm right or I'm wrong.
Then we'll come back to this topic.
But it's just the lot of the like side info you're kind of hearing through the grapevine is what's making me think that. Not to mention DDR4 just came out, and if we're going to be coming out with an entirely new chipset, who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think you got a couple more in there.
Yeah, I answered. Let's see. The Razer Army wants to know what laptop do you recommend for 1080p, 11.6 to 15.6. You for $300 to $400.
Craigslist.
You're not going to get a good laptop for that price. That's the reality of it. I'm sorry.
Craigslist.
Let's see. Josh, would you make a case? And it's gone. Did you see that?
Yeah. Why did it disappear? Did it just update? Oh, move.
Yeah. Josh, would you make a case where the side is glass and opens as easy as the home theater cabinet? You mean like this?
Yeah, where you have like the...
Should make it spring.
It's just a hinge.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, would we...
Push a button, beep.
Again, it'd be something that we could look at, but, you know, the thing is, we're not cost conscious.
I hate this, by the way.
What? The way that...
The swing... Because if this is in a computer cabinet or something...
Yeah, you have to pull the whole thing out. Yeah. And again, that comes down to like application. And I don't want it to sound like, you know, we're cost conscious in the sense that we don't want to go beyond a certain dollar amount. Mm-hmm. But for everybody that says that price doesn't matter that much, I can also look on Newegg and see when they do like a $10 price drop on the R5, how many more of those fly out the door.
Right.
So, you know, cost is always a factor, right? Budget's always a factor, whether your budget's $500, $200, $50. There's different options in those categories, and that's why, you know, you see those brackets when you go to like a Newegg or an Amazon as far as price shopping. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I don't know how much demand there is for it. And someone else had asked about, you know, they want to see like dust filters on every single opening in a case. There are ones where it makes more sense.
That won't matter though.
Yeah, there's some where it makes more sense than others. There's also like, you know, the magnetic versus the static. There's times where magnetic makes sense. There's times where non-magnetic makes sense. And I would say look at the R5, for example. You know, it's like, okay, if we put magnetic filters on the top under the modules, you know, that can make sense. The one that we have on the bottom of the case, you can slide out from the front. If that's magnetic, you're not really. I mean, you slide out, it's going to crumple and leave crap everywhere. So it's like there's times where it makes sense, and times
or even
where
sliding
it
a magnet back in.
Yeah, like how do you do that? It's like rolling on itself. So we definitely hear that. As you see, obviously the Node 202 has magnetic dust filters. The Core 500 has magnetic dust filters. Those are our 2 most recent cases. So if you can see, obviously, trends that we're heading towards.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense. And if you see, like, say, a case that has 3 out of 4 are magnetic, one's not, there's a reason the one isn't. Like, from a usability standpoint, it's easier. Because there are things that in pictures look good.
Yeah.
And then you go to use it, it's like, okay, the practicality of this is not there. It's like...
Right. Let's see. There was a...
I thought there's a couple more.
There was a... Oh, okay. Mr. Velocity asked me, why was my FX 8370 running at 1.4? Was it not stable on default auto? That's what OC Genie did on its own. I backed that down afterwards, but I wanted to see where OC Genie would go with MSI's motherboard, and all it did was put the CPU at the turbo clock full speed and then bumped a lot of voltage. Actually, it was 1.45, by the way, not 1.4. It pumped a lot of voltage, and it wasn't... I almost feel like MSI kind of took a half-assed route of just pump a lot of voltage and let
that
it
way
turbo
it'd be
to where it
stable.
goes. Yeah, but then warm at the same time.
Yeah.
See, our Delacroix, whatever. Sorry. It says, is the Xeon E3 1231 V3 worth it over the i5 4690K for gaming and video editing? For gaming, I would say no. But for dual-purpose video editing, I'd say probably. You're not going to notice much difference in games between a Xeon that's not overclocked and a 4690K that's not overclocked, but you will in the editing.
Mm-hmm.
It's Xeon based on a mainstream platform, but for you using dual purpose, I would say go with the Xeon. You probably won't notice any difference. Jay and Josh, have you ever been to New York and why? Yes, for work.
No. Well, not New York City. Upstate New York, when I did the car giveaway with Logan, we drove through there.
Been there.
You probably went down the 90, went through like Rochester and Buffalo and all
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, and because we went to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, honestly, from the tech side of things, there's not much in New York.
No.
I mean, most of it's out here in California.
Yeah, I've been to New York City. Terrible place to drive. Let's see. Okay, last one. Down Syndrome Nation, how long do you imagine doing YouTube for? As long as the bubble is unbursted, I guess, if that makes sense.
What bubble?
Yeah, tech bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, wait, there was like the .com burst,
Let me
right?
go show you, Nick, what I'm talking about.
Well, and on that note, I guess I'll go ahead and end this. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Josh, thanks for coming out, hanging out with us.
Sure.
You guys have been wanting Coconut Monkey to get in the stream. And I know we're going to be doing a car review soon, so maybe we'll get your opinion on that. You guys know I let this guy drive my 370Z already?
It was awesome. I can't go back to my Volkswagen.
I think now we're going to go eat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were going to go. I haven't eaten today yet.
I haven't had lunch yet. I haven't had anything, so.
This guy's about to eat a whole cow.
You know what we should do?
Oh, God.
We should periscope ourselves eating. Just like, don't answer any questions.
It's gonna be like The Simpsons when they're eating. Is food is flying everywhere. All right, guys, time to get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll put up a video tomorrow, hopefully of the Node 202 build. That'll be fun. All right, guys, see ya.
Bye.
Peace.